right, I'm currently on the phone with Jason. He's another musician that reached out about the current interview sessions. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
Jason, been been playing music for a long time, but I haven't been playing out for. I haven't been in a band for a long time, but been currently owning a online website selling musical instruments and accessories, that kind of thing.
Awesome, very cool. Before we get into the questions, I just have a couple questions about that. Is that like kind of a used store or is it like refurbished stuff?
No, it's all new. Uh, Basically, guitar strings or any kind of music accessories or gifts, that kind of thing.
Okay, so why don't you tell me about how you first came in contact with music? How did it kind of touch you and make you want to like participate in it?
Well, what got me into music was my dad, phenomenal piano player. I used to sit and watch him play, just watch those fingers just jamming on the keys. I mean, that guy could really play. And when fifth grade come around, and they opened it up if you wanted to join band, and kind of took to the trumpet. And what kind of sealed the deal was that very Christmas, my grandma and my great aunt gifted me the cornet that they played when they were in high school. And the cool thing about that is they had the original bill of sale, which was like 1934, 1935, something like that. But that's what got me into music, and it was a family thing, watching dad play, just kind of had that musician instilled in my blood.
And then growing up around that, what was kind of your interpretation of what that meant? Did you kind of figure you'd just learn an instrument and then that would just be part of your life? Or did you have kind of any sort of ambition to, become like a famous musician kind of thing?
I just wanted to play music, and I thought ultimately that, maybe I'd be, like, a performance, like that would be my life. But things turned out a little differently. But I still got the music in my blood. I still play quite often, and I do miss playing live. But having the store kind of fills that musician part of me.
Sure. We'll definitely get to the store, but I have some like lead up questions that I want to ask before we get there. You mentioned that you were performing at one point, so let's kind of go back and go through that process. How did you get to the point where you're performing music? Were you in a band, or was it kind of just you being a solo act? Give me some context about that.
Well, it kind of started through junior high and high school, doing the solo competitions and all state music festivals. And after high school and a little bit of college, a buddy of mine called me up and said, "Hey, I've been jamming with this chick. She's a really good guitar player. You should come down and jam with us," because I was playing bass at the time. And we jammed a few times, and she kind of come to me one night after jamming, and she's like, "Let's get rid of John. You and I do something." So we got together with another female, and we were a three-piece acoustic gig, and we did like coffee houses and that kind of thing. And eventually, she got invited to go with another band, and we ended up with a pair of sisters, both singers, both phenomenal singers. And it kind of grew from there. A buddy of mine from high school was playing drums, and I seen him at our class reunion. We were looking for a drummer, and that really worked out. And we played a lot of shows, anywhere. We were in Eastern Iowa, so we played Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, cut a CD in the mid '90s.
And was that all original music, or were you guys doing covers?
Started out with covers, and it just progressed into writing our own music. We had a CD that had, I think, 10 or 11 songs on it. So we had a pretty good repertoire of our own.
You said you were touring around Iowa, and I also assume like the Midwestern states.
We were based out of Eastern Iowa, so Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin. We did go as far out as out to Washington, D.C. and Virginia a couple times.
Okay. And then tell me about how far that took you and what was after that. So how long did you participate in that band before you kind of moved on to your next step?
We were together, oh, probably about 4 or 5 years. And when things dissolved, I kind of hung around the area for a couple of years, and then I kind of got sick of the area, and I moved to the Twin Cities, and I haven't played out since, unfortunately.
So once you did move to the Twin Cities, tell me what that process was like. Were you looking for other musicians to play with, or at that point were you ready to kind of pivot to something else?
Well, the original plan was a friend of mine who was also in the band. He was going to move up to the cities after I did, after I got established, and he kind of snuck around the back door and moved out to Washington State. And, he never told me. I'd found out from his parents when I called looking for him. And then once I got up here, I kind of lost the feel for it, and just got a straight job and been working, ever since up here. But
Okay,
in the
and then
meantime,
oh,
still
sorry, go ahead.
no. In the meantime, I still pick up and play just to satisfy that urge to play some music.
Sure. And then, so tell me about how that transitioned into you opening a music store and what was that process like?
Something inside me said, you got to do something with music, and I don't know if it's just not wanting to connect or just having too many bad memories of that. But I decided, if I can't, if I'm not going to play out, then I should, do something with music. And, the thought of running my own music store has always been in my head. So I put together my online store. And it took me about a year to build the site. And when I launched it, it it didn't do too well the first couple of years, and I got a different web provider, and that's when things kind of took off. And it's it's kind of something for me to do, and keep my roots in the music.
And so is it just a web store or do you have like a brick and mortar location?
No, it's just a web store. The past few years, I have done like some like city events and stuff, and put up a vendor booth and sold things there as well. But no brick and mortar. I wish I did though.
Okay. And so is that kind of just plugging into the wholesalers and then offering an outlet for them, or do you have any like specialty product?
No specialty products. My big seller is Diodario products.
Okay. So strings and things like that. That's pretty much the only thing I know that they make. Okay. And are you selling like guitars, drums, keyboards, kind of thing, or do you specialize in a specific instrument?
It mostly with band instruments and guitars. I don't get into anything too exotic, but I do have like some light percussion stuff, saxes, trombones, trumpets, and guitars.
Okay. And do you ever think that you'll transition into a more traditional brick and mortar store, or are you comfortable with it just being a web store?
If I had the money to do it, I'd open a store tomorrow. Seriously, I would.
All right. Well, so tell me what some of your favorite memories you have of participating and being around music are.
You know, the band always kind of held a special place for me. Just being able to create and play your own music, and going to whatever place on a weekend and playing a show and picking up and going to the next place, and just performing always felt natural to me. And why I'm not doing it now, well, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So, but yeah, I mean, between, watching my dad play, he played piano accompaniment for the solo competitions for not only me and my brother, but, a couple dozen students, and just watching him play. And I just kind of took that direction, when I got with the band, and it was just creating and making music and knowing that people out there are digging your stuff. It was, it just feels good.
With that in mind, do you think you'll ever kind of get back on the horse and look for some people to play with?
Lately, I've been learning some new stuff. I still got the itch to play, and ultimately, yeah. I mean, if I can create the time, I'd love to get in a band again. I'd love to get out there and play.
Great. What are your social media links? Where can people find you, and then also your store and check out what you're doing?
Uh, my website is jkellysmusic.com. I'm on Facebook, even though I've been away from that page for a little while. But I got a lot of good products, and we'll keep the store as updated as possible as I can. But yeah, I always love to see new orders come through.
Awesome.
Hint, hint.
For sure. Okay. Well, so I always like to give the person that I'm interviewing the chance to put out their final word. So, what's a message that you would want to put out there that you've learned that you think other people should also hear?
I don't know if it's anything that I've really learned, but something I'd really like to see is a little bit more towards the importance of music education. I think these days in like schools they don't provide enough of that, and the world needs more musicians because that's what gets a lot of people through their day is music. I think we just need more of it.